We believe that wealth is a journey, and that this is your jumpstart to trading success. Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Trader's MINDCHAT show, where we believe that wealth is a journey and that this is your jumpstart to trading success. I'm your host, Mike, and this is my co-host, Melissa.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Episode 2. I can't believe we even made it this far.
Yeah, here we are. Well, we're here, we made it, and we've got some real interesting stuff to talk about today.
Yes, we got a really great show planned for you. We're going to be talking about how to build a positive trading routine. We're going to go into how to develop good habits, as well as, there's a lot of negativity going on in the news right now, when to listen to it, when to tune it out, and how to be able to read the market more effectively. Right. And then the last thing we're going to do is talk about 3 key ways that we can start, bringing more positivity into our life right now.
So, let's do it.
All right, so a little background about me. I do not have a morning routine.
No.
I do not. And he likes to tell me I do not have a morning routine. He actually gave me a book to read, Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. Club.
It's a good book. I liked it a lot.
I read the monk who sold his Ferrari.
Yeah, that's Robin Sharma, yeah.
Yeah, and that was a really great book. I really enjoyed that. But with the 5 a.m. Club, it's taken me a little bit longer to get into it because I just can't envision waking up that early. I am not a morning person.
Well, I think that the main idea behind, whether it's 5 a.m. Club or having a morning routine, so many people have come out and said, Tim Ferriss, Brendan Burchard, all these types, if you win the morning, you win the day. So it's whether you're waking up at 5 a.m., 7 a.m., 10 a.m., maybe you're an afternoon person, whatever it is, setting yourself up with a routine for success. And part of that is, when you wake up, it's just kind of jump-starting the system, so
getting what caffeine was for.
Well, that might be part of it. But I think that the main idea is to prime yourself. That's actually something that I learned from Tony Robbins when I went to his event a few years back. Unleash the Power Within. Well, one of the things that he likes to do as part of his morning routine is this priming exercise, which involves motion, it involves breathing, and it involves mindset, meditation. For him, in doing these 3 things, you're priming yourself for the day, and you're filling yourself with seeing the outcome that you want to see, living it like you've already lived it, and not only that, also focusing on things that you're grateful for, gratitude. Because if you're focused on gratitude, you can't be fearful and feel grateful at the same time. You can't hold both of those emotions at the same time. You might be flipping back and forth pretty quick, but you can't hold both of them simultaneously. So as you're priming yourself, you would be focusing on...
So the priming exercise incorporates exercise, meditation, and this gratitude exercise. So you don't have to be doing necessarily this particular priming exercise to incorporate that into your daily morning routine.
Not at all. I think that the key component is doing something that's going to be routine, that's setting you up for your day. So that's one example. And my morning routine has shifted a little bit over the years as well. Right now, I am after I wake up, I'm drinking 10 ounces of water, right? And so I've been trying to make that more of a habit, drinking half my body weight in water.
And this is something you hear all the time, is that we do not drink enough water. I think that is such a key element for everybody to start doing.
Yeah, it's documented in so many health journals. So yeah, I'm trying to do that now as well. I've got this app that sends me a little notification to drink water every hour. It's been keeping me on track for the past 3-4 weeks that I've been doing this now. well, with the water. But so I'll wake up, do that. Then I will go to the gym. I'm at the gym for about an hour, doing these high intensity interval classes. But it's not about, doing a hit class that's important. It's like getting up and moving around,
It
getting
could be
blood
just
flowing.
going
Like,
for a walk out in nature, or like I said, doing stretching, yoga. Like there's so many different ways that you could still, be active without having to do one of these high intensity classes. Especially a lot of people are nervous about going to the gym right now. So these are things you could do right in your own home.
yeah, that too. But the part of the problem that a lot of people have too is like they'll roll out of bed and, well, what's the first thing that
Check your
like,
phone.
yeah, check the phone. I was that guy too, right? Like, oh, what messages came in? Well, what's the market doing pre-market? Like, uh-oh, Bitcoin is down, like 20%. What should I do? And it's those kind of things that start to trip people up because you're not primed yet for the day. Like, you're still like you're groggy, and now you're focusing on all these other distractions before you're even vertical. Right? So I find going to the
So
gym
you're already
is
starting off your day on the wrong side of the bed, basically, because
pretty
you're
much.
because you're already overwhelmed with all this either negativity or worries and anxiety of what's going to happen that day.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the reasons why I like to hit the gym first, and not only does it get the exercise out of the way and it's done, like the hardest part of the day is already done. It's like it gets the blood pumping, every time that I am done with it, like sometimes I dread going to the gym that early, like, oh, I don't feel like doing this, but like I've never completed a workout and left and not feel great that I actually did it.
That is true. Like once you get over that initial, oh my god, I gotta go to the gym. Like when you're actually there and you're like you're going through the exercises afterwards. You just feel so good. The serotonin that's released, all those great, the endorphins. It really does make you feel better. Like no matter what, you could tackle anything that comes along your way. And I think that this is something. I think the hardest part for me, especially with these, colder days ahead, in winter, is just getting out of bed. Like, the night before, you might have this, this drive. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do yoga. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. You name it. But then, like you said, the alarm goes off. You hit the snooze, and you're back in bed. And then it's just like how to break out of that cycle. I think is one of my struggles.
So this is one of the things that got me into doing the whole like waking up at 4:30 thing. Reading Jocko Willink's book. Well, what was the name of it? He has several. But it was one of the books that Jocko Willink wrote, and he's a retired Navy SEAL. He has this routine where he's waking up at that time, 4:30, like every morning. And one of the things that he does for himself is he'll lay out his clothes the night before, like whatever he has to do, like have the clothes, the sneakers, whatever he needs to go and do the workout first thing. Like he preps all that the night before, so that way he does. It's one less thing to have to think about. Right? Like you roll out of bed, like there it is, and then you go. As far as hitting the alarm, yeah, like I used to hit the snooze button all the time.
Oh
and,
wow, yeah.
and it was one of those things that the more like once you start to break that habit, like the easier it becomes. So yes, it does suck to not hit the snooze, to not get those extra few minutes of sleep. But as you start to break that habit, like you just force yourself past it, then it starts to become easier. And like now, like I sometimes I beat the clock.
No, that's great. And it also just reminded me with the Jocko example of laying out your clothes. It's actually for parents. We've been told that if you lay out the clothes before bed the night before for your child, it eliminates some of the choices for the next day. So that your child doesn't fight you as much about going to school or getting dressed, because everything is ready for him or her in the morning. And so there is no fight. It's like, this is what you're wearing, as opposed to, oh, I don't know if I'm going to wear this. I don't know what's the weather about. You have all that prepped and planned the night before, so it takes out some of that stress in the morning.
And it's very similar to how trading plan would be laid out too. So the way that I like to do my trading plans, like I'll plan most of my trades at night or on the weekend when the market's closed, right? So that way it's not where the price is going whichever way and the bullets are flying and it's just like well what do I do? And so like when everything is calm and quiet, then I can see what happened and assess all that, prep what types of actions I want to take, and then the next day when the market is open, all I have to do is focus on executing. So with the morning routine, like getting the clothes ready, all that kind of stuff, it's setting yourself up so that way when you wake up and you get out of bed, like you just need to execute.
It is setting you up for success in that way, where you're already in that mindset of doing what you need to do to get the job done.
Yeah. So hit the gym, come back, shower, meditate. Meditation is very important.
What type of meditation do you do? Because that's I know there's a lot of different apps out there. I know it's like the big trend as, all these new apps out there. Or you don't know what to choose. Once again, lots of choices. You don't know if this is the right one for you. Is it like trial and error? How did you come across one that you liked?
Well, the way that I came across the one that I liked, and I actually went back to it, and I'm using it again now. This app called Headspace. I was reading Tim Ferriss's book, Tribe of Mentors. This is years back, and every other person was saying that they meditate. One of them said that they meditate using this app, and then I remember one day Alexa, right? Like how Alexa just sometimes speaks out of nowhere, right? Anybody
She's listening to us.
Yeah, I think that sometimes she is.
Number one viewer, right?
Number one viewer, Alexa. Thank you, Alexa. Oh my God, I'm probably playing downstairs now. Anyway, so so Alexa one day mentioned Headspace, and it's just like, all right, fine, universe, like I will give this a shot. And then I started getting into it, and at first you're sitting there for 2 or 3 minutes and it feels like forever because I could be doing better things with my time than sitting here with my eyes closed. But because so many other people have said so many positive things about meditation, like I'm going to give this a real shot. And then 3 minutes became easy, 5 minutes became easy, 10 minutes became easy, and then doing 20-minute stints. Now I'm meditating twice a day, in the morning and then again in the afternoon to rebalance and refocus and everything. And I'm using that Headspace app again, but you don't need that per se. For a while, I was doing the Tony Robbins priming exercise in the morning. At one point I was doing, Brendan Bouchard has a release meditation technique where it's a form of transcendental meditation where you're repeating a mantra to yourself. His is release, so like you're just releasing tension, and you're just repeating that word to yourself, release, release, release. But there's many forms of meditation. Or one of our members is a brain decoder, and he turned me onto this book, The High Performance Mind, and there's all different kinds of meditation and looking at different types of brain waves too, alpha, beta, theta, gamma waves in your head.
It's so interesting. I know. I would love to have him on our show maybe in a future date. That would be so exciting to find out a little bit more about it. And I think speaking of meditation, I think what was it, Brendan Bouchard's High Performance Habits book was that it talks about how some of these high performers, they all share certain qualities or things that they do. And one of those things, like you had mentioned, was meditation, was working out, was focusing on your health. And these are things that it's not just us doing, these are things that these high performers are doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, so success leaves clues, right? That was one of the things that I learned from watching Evan Carmichael's channel, right? So Evan Carmichael, if you don't know who he is, he's a YouTuber. He has top 10 rules of success on pretty much anybody that's had success, or whether it's an entrepreneur, a musician, actor, you name it. He's done a top 10 on this person, and you watch enough of them, and the rules of success are pretty much the same across the board. So when I started to learn a little bit more about Brendan, and he came up with this high performance habits book, and how he did it by modeling all these people that have had incredible success. And it's like, okay, like what can I begin to adopt from, whether it's meditating, whether it's mastering transitions, health and fitness, all these different kinds of things to improve my own performance. And then, one of the ways to learn something more and deeper is to not just to do it and to practice it, but to also to share it. And so I started to share, well, what I'm learning, like, and what I find that's working, with members and with, YouTube community and StockTwits and Twitter and all those different places, Instagram.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. And I don't want anybody to be nervous that you have to adopt all these things at one time. Because as like I mentioned, I do not yet have a morning routine, but I have read Brendan's book. I have adopted some of these things, over the course of these past couple of months, especially during this COVID pandemic. And one of those things was like watching my diet, looking at like a healthier lifestyle, and what does that mean for me, and for each person it is different. And so I think that it is sometimes taking baby steps to get there. Not saying you're going to go from where I am now to being a high performer overnight. It doesn't work that way. It's going to take time. There will be times that Mike does hit the snooze button, and it's going to be fine, right? Like, I know those days.
And I think that you actually mentioned a couple of very important things there, that because like if you try to do too much, like that's just a recipe for failure, right? And one of the things that I think that is important to focus on, like pick one thing and then try to make that into a habit. And it takes approximately 66 days to install a new habit. And you mentioned Robin Sharma before in the 5 a.m. Club. Like he has this 66-day protocol where like the first 22 days, that's where like it kind of destroying like the old version of you as you're installing this new habit. Then the next 22 is like the confusion phase, where it's just like, why the hell am I doing this? And then the last 22 is where the new habit is actually getting installed. And you want to have 66 days hopefully in a row where you are focusing on building this one habit. To your point too, in like if you have a calendar and you're checking it off, and it's just like, all right, I got to day 22. Oh crap, I missed a day. I missed 2 days, and then it goes out the window. Like I think that it's important to not kick yourself, to be gentle with yourself as you're doing it, but to also, and this is why with the Mara 66-day challenge, we're on the back of it. There's a section of, well, if you did not complete a day, like just write down the reason why. Because if you write down the reason why, like I missed day 22, I missed day 25, I missed day 41, well, whatever it happens to be, you'll start to see a pattern of like what's getting in the way, and then you could work on fixing that as well. But to continue persevering to the end, I think is important.
Yeah, I think that is such a great point, because I think even for like dieting, or for, there's so many different things, especially as people have their New Year resolutions, if there is a bad day, we all have bad days. It's going to happen. We all have bad days. And so, yeah, do not kick yourself, because tomorrow is a new day. And just because like you may have slept till 8 a.m. or whatever the case is, and you didn't wake up at that 6 a.m. to do your new workout, or whatever the case is, it's okay. Just be gentle on yourself. This is something new, but if you let it slide too many days, then that's going to be even harder to get back into that routine.
Right, like if all right, I did it on day 1, okay, did it on day 2, then day 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like you didn't do it, and then that's where it starts to become a little bit of a problem, and you should check out your reasons, like why did I not do it? If it's just like, oh well, like I didn't feel like it, well, do you really want this?
And I think that's key. Why are you even doing it? I think when I went gluten-free, I did like a whole month cleanse. I went gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and it was one of those things where I had to figure out my why. And my why was I wanted to be healthier. I wanted to take better care of my body and be there for my family. and be the best version of myself for my family, where I don't have these crashes or whatever the case is. But you have to figure out what that was. That's gonna keep you going when you have those dark times where you're like, I really want that chocolate bar, I really want that piece of cake.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is, that why will help you stay true to why you're doing this to begin with.
Yeah, and that was an important part in the Mind Shift guide.
That's correct.
Figuring out your why. Like for trading, right? Like this is a trading show. Like, why are you doing the thing that you like? Well, why are you after this particular goal? Like, if you don't have a clear and powerful why, then you're going to throw in the towel because, well, why wouldn't you? Like, unless if you like to torture yourself, right? Like, if you don't have a powerful why for what you're doing, then yeah, it makes it easy to throw in the towel.
I agree. And I think with that Mara, the 66-day challenge, I think that's a great way to keep you on track because it is holding yourself accountable. Once you have your why, you have that clarity and that this is what habit I want to get rid of or I want to change, it will help you get there. And it's on your website, right? Where is it? It's on...
It's somewhere on marawolf.com. Just go poke around the site. It's there. You'll find it.
But I think that's a great place to transition to the next item that we're going to be doing, which is when to listen to the news. So let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back.
Today's episode is sponsored by the Mara Mindshift Guide, a trading beliefs workbook. Trading is a mental game. This workbook combines 20 years of trading experience with simple, easy to follow exercises to help you manage your mindset and move past limiting beliefs. Get your copy of the Mara Mindshift Guide today on Amazon or at marawealth.com/mindshift. All right, everybody, welcome back. And well, what do we have for us now?
Oh my God, what was that thing that they said? I got the 7-day trial of 2021 and I'm ready to get my refund back. But there's so much negative news that's happening right now in the media. And this is not just this year, it's been across, for whether it was the coronavirus pandemic, whether it was the recession, you name it, that there has been sometimes so much negativity or negative press. What do you listen to, Mike, as a trader? When do you listen to the market, or when do you listen to the news to dictate what you're going to do with your trading?
There's negative news all the time, right? So, what I do is I actually don't listen to the news as far as trading goes. What I think is important to do is understand that there's really like two stories being told, right? There's the story that's being told in the media, whether it's on traditional media, whether it's social media, wherever you're consuming your news. Like that's one story, but there's also the story that the market is telling you. And so I prefer to listen to the market because that it's listening to what people say versus watching what people are actually doing. If I'm looking at a price chart and price is moving in a certain direction, like that's what people are actually doing. They're voting with their dollars. So I focus on that versus listening to like, oh, well, this is what's happening in the news. This is what Trump said. Now there's a coup. Now there's now COVID is back and there's a mutation to it. Like, well, what's the market doing? If I thought negatively and I'm thinking that this is the end of the world, then I would pull my money out and I'd hide under the bed. But if I'm looking at what the market is doing and we're at all-time highs and the stocks that I'm interested in are forming constructive patterns and I put on the trade, then it's a great way to make money and to not be stressed.
I think you're right. I think that the stress of the fear and the fear propaganda that might be happening really could cause people to either hesitate or maybe make not a smart decision.
What's the purpose of the news, right? Or like the channels.
Viewership.
Yeah, that they want to get your attention.
Yeah.
Right, like just like this show, we want to get your attention. Just but that's why YouTube, all these different social channels, like everybody is vying for your attention. So with that in mind, like it's better to pay attention to what the masses and what decisions are actually being made. And as far as trading goes, like the price chart is price. And you could see like the different volume in the price too. So you could tell like, well, when there's big money coming into something, because you'll see a massive spike in volume. That's not you and I doing that. That's major institutional money. And those big institutions, they can't move in and out of the market like you and I can. If they're going into and starting a position, they're going to be building it for weeks and months. So we could just simply ride their coattails. And that's something that's worked for many other traders for many years. It's worked for me for many years, and it's a winning strategy.
Yeah, that's great. And I think that it is one of those things where it's so easy to get swept up in the hype that is happening, whether it's through media or through Facebook or what your friends are saying, and that it could start making you second guess certain decisions. So how do you conquer, or how do you tune it out? I guess that's one of the most, that's difficult for me, because sometimes when I try to tune it out, but then you quickly check Instagram or Facebook, and then you see a post, and all of a sudden all those negative emotions come back in, that it could be overwhelming.
What I think is important with news, like I wouldn't, I think it would be a disservice to say to completely disregard news altogether. Well, what I think is, or what I like to do with news is to know when there's important events that are coming up. Well, like an earnings cycle, right? Like so, like Stock XYZ is getting ready to report earnings a month from now. Like I'll have that on my calendar, because I know that a major event like that, there's going to be some volatility around the event. So normally a stock is trading very nice and calm on that day, you'll probably see more volatility. So I start to get ready for that. That's how I use the news. Or if there's some kind of a Fed announcement, people could use that. But as far as the story, right? Like I think that's where people start to have some confusion between the actual event, right? Like the Fed is having an announcement on such and such day at such and such time. Earnings is going to be announced on this day and this time. Like those are events. Those are important. Like the story that whoever in the media is trying to tell us, like that. I think that's where a lot of confusion can come in, and it's better to create a system and see what the market is doing and let that be your guide. Nobody knows better than the market.
All right, great. I think this also helps when you start off, back to our earlier conversation, when you start off your day in this more positive mindset, when you have this routine set. Do you think that can help viewers?
I think that it helps to be. I think that it helps to give clarity. It's not about like pumping yourself up and it's like, yeah, rah rah, and because you don't want to see things better than they are, right? Because then all of a sudden, like let's say you're in a trade and you're seeing things better than they are, and then you're sitting with a 50% drawdown, like that's not good, right? Like we don't want that. But
these are happy tears.
Oh my god. But we don't want to see things worse than they are either.
Yeah.
We want to be calm. We want to be present. We want to be focused. That's where meditation can help. That's where if you have good energy, right? And I'm not just talking about positivity. I'm talking about like keeping your physical energy levels up. Then you're less likely to like fall into like just negative thought patterns. Right? And you're able to see things clearer and see like what's actually there. And also, a good habit for trading too is to remind yourself of what your plan even is. Right? Like so a trap that many traders fall into, like they'll come up with a plan, but then how often are they reviewing that plan? Then they'll see their P&L moving around, get freaked out. They'll see price starting to come in and panic. But if you are putting yourself first into a positive state, you're refreshing your memory of what the plan was. It makes it that much easier to follow through with that plan. I would even go as far as to say to read your plan multiple times a day, like if you're trading, and if you're the type of trader that's looking at the market all day long. Refresh that plan so that way it's fresh in your head and you know what your A game looks like. Ask yourself that question. Well, what does your A game look like? Now, thoughts will pop into your head like, well, what your A game looks like, and then act in that way.
And your A game will constantly change too, depending on where you are in your trading, or is it like, because like I guess it comes down to
it should improve over time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what my A game looked like 5 years ago is pales in comparison to what my A game looks like today. Just like in another 5 years, hopefully future Mike will be able to kick this Mike's ass as far as trading goes.
Future us going to be watching the show being like, oh wow, how can we do this differently? But that's the whole point of anything you're doing in life, is that you're hoping to continue to grow. You want to continue to grow, improve, and learn from past mistakes to become the best you can be, right?
Yeah, you just reminded me of something that Tony Robbins was saying. He was saying that change is inevitable, right? Like we're all going to change, right? Over time, but progress is not. Progress is something that we actually need to work toward, and so a way that we'll continue to make progress is through having strong habits. And then the beauty of building new and positive habits is that once you get to the end of that 66 days, then it's become something that's more automatic. And then you could shift your focus to adding a new habit, right? And then like you have that other one that's installed another 66 days. Then like you can add another one, and it's something that could just build on itself, and it's really positive.
No, I love that. And I think this is a great way to transition to the last thing that we're going to be talking about today. But one of the more important things of today is how to bring more positivity into your life. We've given a lot of great examples. What would you say would be the 3 things that we could start implementing today to bring a more positive mindset into our trading day?
All right. So, well, the first that we spoke about already, right? Like start like winning the morning. I think is important. So building a strong morning routine for yourself. Another like number 2, I would put your environment. I think that building a positive environment for yourself is important. So what does that mean? Does it mean the 4 walls that you're trading in? Sure, that's part of it, but also what are you watching? Who are you listening to? Like who's around you? It could be friends, family. Do you have positive people around you? For some people, the answer is yes. For some people, the answer might be no. And so you would want to try to get more positivity around you, and that'll be a game changer. You may have heard like some of the 5 people that are closest to you, that's real, right? So if 4 out of the 5 people are super negative, that doesn't mean like your family's negative. Just cut them all out of your life like that. That's not realistic. But you might add somebody that is a little bit more positive, or try to spend a little bit more time with other people that are positive. That's one of the reasons why we made the Traders MindChat room on StockTwits to help build some more of that positivity and create a community for traders where it's not just talking about like, oh, I'm gonna enter this trade or that trade. It's also talking about mindset and talking about routines and just general discussion in there as well, like trading based, but general discussion.
So I think that's a great third one, would be community then, right? Like having a sense of community and being able to have shared interests with somebody to be able to bounce ideas off of, and being able to share if you're having a bad day, and being able to help pick somebody up when they need it.
Yeah, that's an important part too. Like, well, when my journey really like started to get going. You know, I don't know if you guys know that are watching, but I've been trading now for a little over 20 years. The first 10 were a complete nightmare, but it was that 10th year where I started to find the meetup groups. There was a group in Manhattan called the New York City Investors Business Daily Meetup Group, and I would go there, and you're with other like-minded people, and you're able to share your experiences, bounce ideas off of one another, and you could start to see that, everybody's kind of going through the same thing. Some people are further ahead, some people are a little bit earlier in their journeys, but you're moving towards the same thing, and you have a sense that you're not alone, and you can start to have a clearer path forward. That's what I was hoping to do with the Traders Mind Chat room, to bring that virtually.
And I love it. And from the last show, you guys know I am now in the room, and I am loving it so far. As I'm still learning, so I'm not interacting as much because I'm still taking and digesting. I think that's what a lot of people do when they first come into the room. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Mike comes on a daily basis, so he'll be able to help answer any questions. And anything you don't feel comfortable with, especially if you are still learning, there is something on the Mara Wealth page in the dashboard where you can ask Mike, correct?
Yeah, so if you're a Mara Elite member, we've got this other section where if you have questions that you want to ask anonymously, amazing. Type your questions in there. I will answer those questions via video, and it'll get posted, and you'll have your answer, and you'll get to remain anonymous.
No, it's great, especially if you're not as comfortable yet. I get it. I completely understand. I'm in your shoes right now, so we have set these up. And any suggestions or any questions along the way, feel free to reach out to us. Mm-hmm. That's what we're here for, to try to make this as user-friendly as possible.
Yeah, well, everybody can, and everybody that wants to trade can absolutely do it. It's putting in the time, effort, just like you would if you were in medical school or law school or pursuing any kind of an advanced degree. It's the same kind of thing. Right? You learn, you put in effort, and it's going to take time, but at the end, there's a lot of potential reward.
No, this is great. I think we all have a lot of great things to digest and to start thinking about. One for me is to start looking at what I can start doing to build my morning routine so that I am able to, better start my day and take ownership of my day again, as opposed to letting it kind of carry me away where I don't know what's going to happen. What am I going to get done? Is it going to be productive for me? So that's going to be big. And then also number 2 would be look at what I'm consuming in the news. Like you said, there's certain things that we do want to make sure that we stay on top of, and that we are aware of what's happening in our world, but to not let it dictate our emotions and cause this fear that's going to be causing issues with our trading. Mm-hmm. And then to build a more positive mindset. I think that there's a lot of great things that we were able to take from your top 3, which was take control of your day, environment, and sense of community.
Yeah, all that stuff is great.
What am I going to do with you?
All right.
So now that you have all this great thing, what are you going to do with it, Mike?
Yeah, what am I going to what?
You're going to take with it? Take it and run with it.
Yes. That's the closing tagline, right? I don't know, all this stuff is new to me. So yes, take it and run with it. That sounds good. All right, thanks everybody.
See you next time.
Take
Bye-bye.
care. Bye.